told you that a particular date could send shivers down the spine of millions? Interesting, isn't it? Welcome to the curious world of Friday the 13th. An ordinary day on the calendar, but when it comes around, it carries a chill of dread that is hard to shake off. The number 13, coupled with the day Friday, has been a source of unease for many. The fear is so pervasive that it even has a scientific name, paraskevidikatriophobia. Try saying that 3 times fast. This tongue twister of a term describes an irrational fear that impacts people across the globe, irrespective of their cultural or geographical backgrounds. Now you might wonder, how could a simple date inspire such widespread apprehension? The roots of this superstition date back centuries and are steeped in folklore, mythology and religion. Friday the 13th is not just a date, it's a symbol. A symbol of bad luck, of impending doom. And for some, it's a symbol of the uncanny and the unexplainable. From avoiding ladders and black cats to cancelling flights and rescheduling important events, the fear of Friday the 13th can lead people to go to great lengths to dodge the perceived bad luck associated with the day. Across the world, from the skyscrapers of New York to the small towns of Europe, from the bustling markets of Asia to the vast landscapes of Africa, the superstition surrounding Friday the 13th is as ubiquitous as it is intriguing. It's a shared cultural phenomenon that transcends borders and breaks barriers, uniting us all in a common, albeit irrational, fear. So, how did Friday the 13th earn such a notorious reputation? What makes this innocuous day on our calendars a source of such universal dread? Is it all just hearsay and old wives' tales, or is there a deeper, more compelling history behind it? To answer these questions, we must journey back in time and delve into the annals of history. Let's dive in and find out. Our story begins in a place you might not expect. The pages of the Bible. Yes, the Bible, a book of faith, wisdom and guidance for many, carries the genesis of our trepidation surrounding Friday the 13th. Let's journey back to one of the most significant events in Christian history, the Last Supper. You see, this wasn't your ordinary dinner party. It was a gathering of Jesus Christ and his 12 disciples, making the total count 13. Among these was Judas Iscariot, the disciple who would later betray Jesus, marking him as the unwanted 13th guest, the harbinger of doom. Now, the question arises, where does Friday fit into all of this? To answer that, we need to look at another pivotal event, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The day Jesus was crucified is known as Good Friday. Though the day is revered for the sacrifice Jesus made, it's also remembered for the pain, suffering and death that occurred. This association with death and suffering imprinted a negative connotation on Fridays. So we have the number 13 tainted by the betrayal of Judah, and Friday marked by the crucifixion of Jesus. When these two elements combine, they form a potent mix of superstition and fear. The Bible, a source of faith and comfort for many, unwittingly became the birthplace of the dread surrounding Friday the 13th. However, it's crucial to remember that these interpretations are just that, interpretations. They are the result of centuries of cultural evolution and manipulation, often fueled by the human tendency to seek patterns and assign significance where there may be none. But the Bible isn't the only source of our fear. There's more to this story. The year is 1307, on a day that would forever be etched in infamy, Friday, October 13th. In the heart of medieval Europe, a plot is brewing, one that would add a new layer to the superstition surrounding Friday the 13th. The pivotal characters in this tale are King Philip IV of France, also known as Philip the Fair, and the Knights Templar, a powerful and secretive military order. King Philip, deeply indebted to the Templars, saw an opportunity to erase his debts and consolidate power. He set his sights on the Templars' vast wealth and influence, concocting a scheme to bring them down. The king, with the support of his puppet, Pope Clement V, issued secret orders to arrest all Templars in France. On that fateful Friday, October 13th, King Philip's men swooped in. The Templars were rounded up, arrested and subjected to brutal torture. They were accused of heresy, obscene rituals and idolatry. These accusations were largely fabricated, designed to justify the king's actions and turn public opinion against the order. The Templars were put on trial and many were burned at the stake. The once mighty order was disbanded, its members either killed or forced into hiding. The Templars' Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, cursed King Philip and Pope Clement from the flames, prophesying that they would join him in death within a year. His curse came true. This event, the mass arrest and torture of the Knights Templar, was a significant blow to the order and sent shockwaves throughout Christendom. It further fueled the superstition around Friday the 13th, embedding it in the collective consciousness as a day of betrayal, misfortune, and doom. From religious texts to historical events, the reputation of Friday the 13th grew, but it wasn't done yet. This day would continue to cast a long shadow over history, its influence extending even into the modern era. Fast forward to the 20th century, where Friday the 13th found new life in popular culture. Let's take a stroll down memory lane to the year 1907. Meet Thomas Lawson, an American businessman and author who penned the novel Friday the 13th. A gripping tale of a rogue Wall Street broker who capitalizes on the widespread fear of this supposedly ill-fated day to create a panic in the stock market. The novel was a hit, and it played a significant role in cementing the superstition of Friday the 13th in the modern American psyche. As if that wasn't enough, let's jump forward a few decades to the year 1980. The world was introduced to one of the most iconic horror franchises in cinematic history, Friday the 13th. The movie was about a group of camp counselors who are picked off one by an unknown killer. The film was a box office success, and it spawned a franchise that includes 12 films, a television series, novels, comic books, and a myriad of merchandise. Can you believe it? All under the banner of Friday the 13th. These tales of terror, woven around this particular date, did more than just entertain. They reinforced and arguably amplified the superstition around Friday the 13th. The date, which was once just another day on the calendar, was now a source of dread for many. The media, always quick to jump on a popular bandwagon, further pushed this narrative, embedding the fear of Friday the 13th deep into our collective consciousness. And so the superstition lives on, passed down from generation to generation, fueled by pop culture and our innate love for a good, chilling tale. Friday the 13th, once just a date, has now become a cultural phenomenon, a part of our shared global folklore. And thus, a date once ordinary now lives in infamy. But what does science have to say about all this? Well, here's the reality check we've all been waiting for. While many of us might quake at the thought of Friday the 13th, various studies have taken a firm stand, debunking the superstition. The fear of this day, known as paraskevidekatriophobia, is indeed intriguing, but is it really justified? Let's delve into some research. One study from the Dutch Centre for Insurance Statistics, carried out in 2008, found that there are fewer accidents, fires and thefts on Friday the 13th than on other Fridays. Surprising, isn't it? It seems that people might be safer on this supposedly cursed day. And there's more. In 2004, the British Medical Journal published a study that found no significant increase in hospital admissions due to traffic accidents on any given Friday the 13th. Their conclusion? Friday the 13th is unlucky for some. The risk of hospital admission as a result of a transport accident may be increased by as much as 52%. Staying at home is recommended. Now hold on a minute. That sounds serious. But read between the lines. The researchers, with a twinkle in their eyes, noted that their tongue-in-cheek study was a lesson in how statistics can be manipulated to show almost anything, if you don't consider all the factors. So, should we keep our doors locked and hide under the bed every time Friday the 13th comes around? Science doesn't think so. Instead, it encourages us to question superstitions and not let them dictate our lives. After all, we shape our own destinies, don't we? Our lives are too precious to be steered by baseless fears. Let's embrace every day with courage and optimism, no matter what the calendar says, because the only thing we should really be afraid of is fear itself. So, next time Friday the 13th rolls around, remember it's just another day.